Before we continue, let's clarify the distinction between what is and isn't science. Science is a process through which we observe and question things, search for relationships and patterns, create hypotheses, test them through experiments, analyze the resulting data, compare the conclusions with the hypotheses, and repeat the process. Anything that isn't science is essentially an assumption. For instance, people in the past believed the Earth was flat because they saw flat ground from their perspective. There are two interpretations of life, one through science and another through raw human perception. According to science, life is the characteristic that distinguishes living things from non-living things. Living organisms grow, reproduce, undertake various activities, and undergo continuous changes throughout their lives until they eventually die. According to human perception and interpretation, the meaning of life varies. For some, it can be consciousness, feelings, or anything that is used in human-to-human communication. Many of the terms used in these discussions are abstract terms that hide long, descriptive, and technical concepts or logic. Often, the people who use them do not understand what these terms truly mean or how they are validated by science. In such discussions, it is crucial to break things down on a fundamental and technical level. Otherwise, higher-level abstract terms become a cluster of random terms that people using them don't truly comprehend at the fundamental level. And this is a very odd one that is also highly contradictory with science. Let's only use descriptive terms, not umbrella terms like creativity. In technical and descriptive terms, creativity can be defined as the ability to generate new ideas, concepts, and solutions that are both original and useful. Creativity does involve input from the environment as well as the analysis and synthesis of that input to generate new ideas, solutions, or products. Let's define how a human understands a concept. Learning for humans involves experiencing and observing new things, and our senses feed data about our environment to our brain. Our brain then processes that information to recognize patterns, which are stored in memory. Retrieval of information from memory is important to solve problems or complete tasks. Feedback loops and repetition are critical to strengthening learning and neural pathways in the brain. In machine learning, a computer system is trained on a large dataset of information pairs. The system analyzes the data and learns to recognize patterns and make predictions based on the input. This is similar to how humans learn from experience and observation and then use that learning to make predictions and solve problems. And AI often develops new approaches and methods to achieve new things. Like humans, AI also relies on feedback to improve its learning. Feedback in machine learning comes in the form of a reward signal that tells the system whether its prediction or output was correct or incorrect. The system uses this feedback to adjust its internal parameters and improve its accuracy over time. Repetition and practice are also important for machine learning. The more data the system is trained on, the better it becomes at making predictions or recognizing patterns. This statement emerges from ignorance about AI technology and the human brain. A more accurate sentence would be that AI learns the concept through pattern and, given its datasets, develops an understanding of what something looks like, for example, by learning what a cat looks like. Let's compare it to how a human learns about a cat for the first time. When a child encounters a cat for the first time, they do not have a mental model of what a cat looks like, sounds like, or smells like. Instead, their brain receives new sensory data from their environment, and they begin to process and analyze that information to form a mental model of what a cat is. The child's brain uses a process like feature extraction to identify the unique characteristics of the cat, such as its whiskers, fur, and meowing sounds. The brain then compares these features to the child's existing mental models of other animals to determine what the new animal is. Once the child identifies that new animal as a cat, their brain will begin to create new mental models of what cats look, sound, and smell like. The child's brain will use these mental models to categorize and group the new information with their existing knowledge about animals. Through feedback, repetition, and practice, the child can continue to develop their understanding of cats. Similarly, AI learns concepts by recognizing patterns through training within its datasets and learning the relationships between patterns. Therefore, it can identify new things or even create them. You have to understand that there is no such thing as making or imagining something from nothing. It is scientifically impossible because you need something to create new things. This is a super simplified example of how humans understand and how AI understands, because under the hood there is so much more going on that we, at the current time, do not have a super detailed understanding of about how AI and humans understand. This approach is also fundamentally flawed when it comes to science and AI. AI is an ongoing process that will never be completed. Its development follows the same scientific process of trial and error, so it is constantly evolving and improving. Therefore, evaluating AI based on assumptions is not a valid approach. Furthermore, AI will soon be able to accelerate its own development, and this phenomenon is already underway. For more information on this topic, please refer to our previous video on the current bottleneck in AI and its potential solutions. This one is very odd, as it does not add a slight level of science or anything related to it, it's just a pure subjective assumption that is based on feelings. This argument does not consider human evolution, biology, the inner workings of brains, or anything like that. For this, we must evaluate the kind of system we as humans have established because we have not evolved to do the specific jobs we currently hold. Instead, humans and other living organisms have evolved to survive and reproduce. These fundamental evolutionary drives have shaped our biology and behavior. Therefore, when humans engage in activities that are not directly related to these drives, they may encounter challenges and difficulties. For example, many jobs require specialized knowledge, skills, and training that are not inherent in our biology. To perform these jobs well, humans may need to learn and practice extensively, which can add elements of inefficiency, slowness, and inaccuracy. Additionally, humans are prone to making errors and mistakes, which can lead to costly consequences in some job settings. Moreover, these human inefficiencies have established their own system of problems that have bigger and wider consequences for the whole system. The inefficiencies established by error, speed, biases, and biological limits have much more significant and destructive effects than they seem. This means that whatever problem one might consider significant in civilization is directly linked to the problem of human inefficiency. For instance, hunger can be associated with human inefficiencies in resource management, and crime can be associated with human inefficiencies in developing a stable environment. Humans who live in unstable environments have destructive effects. Furthermore, human inefficiencies in making a language often lead to confusion, conflict, and instability in the environment that drives the loop of instability. And the same effect of inefficiency can be seen in most modern language models, as they exhibit similar inefficiencies in logic as they are also trained with the same human-generated data. Humans have normalized all these issues, so for most, it seems normal. However, a new technology that holds the potential to fix inefficiencies that humans inherently have will obviously replace humans in these things. As humans grow in power, the effect of inefficiencies will dramatically increase, and it might be one of the major reasons humans might go extinct in the next 200 to 1,000 years. Imagine a world where resources are managed well enough that everyone has enough of everything, where the environment is stable enough that everyone's needs are perfectly met, and where the language and learning processes are perfectly aligned with well-understood science. In that kind of environment, there will be no conflicts or crime, as humans won't have any reason to do anything that causes instability. And this is not utopian thinking, it's a world where humans do not control civilization. Problems will still exist, but their management and speed of solution will be unbelievably fast and dynamic. This is also very similar to the previous argument. Hype is simply an attempt by the companies or something organic to promote a widespread discussion about it. But this explains more about how the market is structured and how humans are influenced by something, and this tells nothing about the technology and science of this technology itself. This argument is just another human assumption about how they perceive the technology, and most of the consumers of the technology will not even be interested in the inner workings or science of the technology. They will just perceive it as good or bad based on their experience with it or how they view the technology based on their existing perception of the world. But AI is the kind of technology that will accelerate its own development and affect everything, and the more it develops, the more it will accelerate everything, from its own development to science.